Packers Corner, we're back. Can we consider this the official start of the 2024 season now? We're getting serious about things. A little drama there early with the Vikings, watching with my wife, noted Viking fan there. She was getting a little tense when she saw Michael Penix come off the board to the Atlanta Falcons. What was going through your guys' heads? Dad, I'll start it off with you here.
Well, I heard that sound effect of Paul Allen, Cardinals, Vikings, circa, what was it? That's the one. I think that was the brain trust.
Like that.
Yeah, that was the brain trust over there at the Omni Hotel by the Vikings practice field when they saw the quarterback go off the board there, and the Jets were on the clock with J.J. McCarthy sitting there ripe to be picked by the Jets, but I think the Jets just fleeced him for a couple picks because there's no way in hell they were picking a quarterback with Aaron Rodgers about to go on a dark retreat if they did.
We could have gone through all that again, huh?
And I'll drink to that if you don't mind me saying so.
Ew.
You guys are ready to go here. I got my Gatorade. I gotta catch up to get up to your
Well,
guys' level.
I got our sponsor back on again this year. This is unofficial sponsor. Maybe one day they'll
Self-appointed. There you go.
Schmitty,
Schmitty, with your Bear sympathies, I think you were kind of ecstatic over what you saw there. I don't know. I've been very vocal about my thoughts on Caleb Williams here. We had a good run of that in the group chat, but Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, are we going to be hearing that connection for years to come in the NFC North?
Time after time after time. If you're in a rookie fantasy football draft, you're doing the dynasty deal there, Griffey, you take them both right now. You take them picks 1 and 2. That is going to be a dynamic duo. I go back to Musa Muhammad, Brandon Marshall. What a stud of a wide receiver that the Bears just got. And all the black nail wearing people that walk this earth, they are going to unify. They're going to one front, Griffey, as the man Caleb Williams brings them Super Bowls countless times over. He is a talent to behold. I am worried. I am in deep trouble. My inner Bears fandom wants to come out and scream and pop some confetti. We might be in trouble, Griffey. This might be the most if you're a talking head of ESPN or one of these motherships, you're looking at the NFC North and you got a good little giddy up to you because this is probably the most intriguing division now going into the next season.
Yeah, I think you got to be excited to at least watch, see what unfolds here. I think we got a couple teams that are kind of on a knife's edge with this draft being, obviously Chicago and the Vikings here. Yeah, the Vikings got probably who most of us would have thought they were going to come away with in J.J. McCarthy. What are you thinking that's going to look like in the 2024 season?
Well, first, let me just throw a little zinger at Schmidt here. I think the Bears have got the inside track now because what they're going to do is they're going to go back to the Steelers and offer them a 7th-round draft pick to bring back Justin Fields so that Caleb Williams can unlock him as a slot receiver and a wildcat quarterback and a tight end. And it's just going to be 4-4 all over the place, pitch the ball over to Fields, let him throw a halfback pass. I mean, this is right back to the days of Sid Luckman and the Monsters of the Midway, and bring it on. Go. So as far as JJ, is it JJ McCarthy?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Yeah. Michigan guy?
Yep.
I don't know. 50-50 chance. Is he Christian Ponder? Is he Tavares Jackson's brother? I don't know. It's a shot in the dark. Who was the third quarterback taken last year? The last time they had 3 in a row, it was.
The last time it was 3, I think that was. No, 2 times ago it was Tim Couch, Donovan McNabb, and Akili Smith. There was one time more recently than that. I'm forgetting what that one was.
They showed it earlier tonight.
Did show it.
He was a bust.
Oh, it was Trey Lance, Trevor Lawrence.
Trey Lance was the third one, I think.
And Trevor Lawrence was the first. I'm forgetting who was number 2 in that draft. It was kind of another bust. So there've been a lot of cases when they showed those where it was 2 busts and a hit. So we'll see what
Yeah.
this one looks like.
Yeah.
But
Well, it could be the Pat Mahomes deal where the Bears take Trubisky and Mahomes is taking a 10 or 11. I think Mahomes was 11, wasn't he?
I think that's
They got
right.
the 11th pick, which is so the Vikings should have stayed at 11 and got McCarthy. They'd have been all set, but we don't know. We wish him well.
Zach Wilson was the second pick when most recently they had 3 in a row go off the board. How about what do you guys think of Michael Penix to the Falcons? I think they're taking a page out of the Green Bay Packers playbook, and I think that's the right guy to do it with. I see the same sorts of things I saw with Jordan Love where, wow, he can make some incredible throws. Let's give this guy a chance to learn what life's like in the NFL behind a veteran quarterback that can win us some games still. You know, they got a little better guy than we had to go through that with. I think Kirk's a little more humble and a little more talented than Aaron Rodgers at this point in his career, but we made the best that we could with Aaron Rodgers at the helm. As Schmitty looks on in horror there. I'm teasing you, Schmitty. But no, I think they got a good setup there for letting Michael Penix develop. What did you guys think of that?
Yeah, let's send cheese curds to the Atlanta Brass for making the Vikings a little trigger happy and have to make that little move with the Jets and swap those picks. So we can start there and thank them for that. Definitely. Do we have the blueprint? Is there a vault that was it's hidden away our trade secrets? We got a secret sauce we've been hiding from the entirety of the world, where you foster in a first round draft pick quarterback and you let him sit behind a very talented arm. And so the Falcons, I think, are doing it the right way. No one in Packer Nation would be disgusted by the approach that the Falcons are taking. It seemingly is the right way. We're now in the TikTok realm of we need satisfaction every 5 seconds. This seems to be the appropriate way to give yourself a sustainable franchise.
What'd you think of that, Dad?
Well, 2 things come to mind. Number one, I'd be very interested to see how Kirk Cousins' contract is structured there.
It's a 2-year deal. It's a 2-year deal.
I would anticipate you have 2 kind of dead years on the end of it that are dummy years, because there's no way he's playing past 2 years now. And if he plays poorly next year, they'll find a way to trade him, maybe back to the Vikings after J.J. McCarthy has a train wreck. I don't know. You know, and the other one is this. We can get into this. This general manager for the Vikings, I don't know. I got a new name for him. What is he? Quasi Adolfo Mensa? He's crazy Adolfo Mensa. I mean, did he not observe just what you said, Schmitty? Crazy Adolf there is sitting right in Minneapolis, straight across the river from where they've had 2 quarterbacks come and sit for 2 or 3 years behind veterans. He could have done the exact same thing with Kirk Cousins, signed him 2 years ago to a 2 or 3 year deal like what Atlanta did here. Could have had Will Levis last year, his understudy, and then he could have picked Marvin Harrison or Rome Odunze or some stud receiver, traded Jefferson for a couple number 1 picks. They could have got an edge rusher, a tackle. They'd be all set to go with this young rookie quarterback coming up with young players around him. Jefferson makes no sense on that team whatsoever now. He's ahead of the curve when they're going to be competitive. So I think the guy's crazy. Now, just me, I'm a biased Packer fan, but boy, oh boy, I think it is a clinic in how not to go about building a team over there. So we'll see how it works out. Maybe I turn out to be wrong, but I sure don't think so. He wasn't paying attention to how the Packers did it, that's for sure. But Atlanta was, and good for them.
Schmitty, what do you think it looks like in Minnesota if things go south with this draft here?
Your shelf life as a GM starts to expire fairly quickly. You can't stay out of the light. Fans start knocking at your door and starts knocking at the owner's door, and the owner feels the heat. If this goes sideways, you probably give him 1 more season after this. He gets 1 more draft, and hopefully JJ, it makes it an 800 or 500 season. They win 8-9 games. You need to win football games for your GM to stick around. And if that doesn't happen again, We need satisfaction now, and if you're not getting that satisfaction, you're probably getting your walking papers. So, it's wild that how many quarterbacks have been taken this early. You just pray that you got it right. This is now the league of the have and have-nots. It's telling with how this draft has gone, so many quarterbacks so early. You either have a franchise quarterback or you don't, and if you don't have one, you're searching high and low to get one. So you have to make these types of investments. The Vikings did so. We, as Packers fans, we hope it doesn't work out, but certainly our friends to the west, they want this thing to take them to new heights that they've never seen before.
Should we dive into a few Packer draft scenarios here? I know you did a couple mock drafts, Schmitty, and I got those tabbed up for. Let's go through a few of the scenarios you ran through. I'm curious to get your thoughts on this here, Dad. This is one of a few that we have. Starting off with Kool-Aid McKinstry here. What would you think about going that way, Dad, if that comes to pass?
Kool-Aid is a boundary corner. And that's what he does. Seems to me that we're in pretty good shape at boundary corner. We need some depth there. I would like to see us go a different way. The Tyler Nubin pick, he had terrible testing numbers. He will not be a Packer at that spot. There's no way in the world they're going to pick a guy who runs a 4.6 40, 4.65 40. That ain't going to happen. I think you're talking about the Coopers. You got the Cooper DeJean, and you got the Edgerrin Cooper, the linebacker, as a couple guys. They're talking about whether it's going to be tackles, which is another position. But interestingly now, and I think we could probably all agree on this, 6 quarterbacks going in the top 12 pick pushes a lot of the guys that we wanted right back to us. There was a lot of talk about moving up with maybe putting 88 or 91 together with 25 to get up around 20. To maybe either get the tackle Guyton or get Cooper DeJean. We can talk about whether you think, that's actually an interesting talker. What helps the team more? You have to look at what kind of defense we want to play and who fits there. But so those are my immediate thoughts. I'm not trying to step on Schmitty, but
Well, Schmitty's ran a bunch of these scenarios. Schmitty, how does it work on the PFF draft if you're going to? Are there actual people drafting this, and you?
No. This is the PFF machine. So
but you don't have your pick of the litter, do you?
Right. No, exactly. Like it's a automated ADP and pick and from the public, and that kind of determines some things. But yes, this is the PFF machine. So Cooper isn't really there. I will point out, Griffey, not one single defensive player has been drafted. It's not supposed to be like that. The machine is now broken in half. PFF has no clue what they're doing. It's scrambling. Griffey, there's some real good talent right now. As Gar said, we can move up to pick 20, and we're probably looking at a Kenyon Mitchell, a Terrion Arnold. We need that second corner, Griffey. You always need edge rushers, and so Latu, there are some real premier defensive players still available. Dallas Turner doesn't necessarily fit what we're trying to accomplish as an edge rusher, but Latu, he's 6'5", 250 right now. He's probably stepping on the field come September at 270. So there's some real good defensive players. I really you'll see in a lot of my mocks that for me it's important to get interior defensive and offensive linemen, especially for us. I think a huge need is a center or a guard, and there are certainly some available, Graham Barton being one of them out of Duke. I think he graded out pretty well. But when you're getting all these quarterbacks taken and these defensive players that you didn't think you had a shot at, Griffey, yeah. Kenyon Mitchell or Terrion Arnold, and having them across from Jair.
Schmitty, and then we'll be back.
The Indianapolis Colts select Latu, defensive end, UCLA.
Great pick.
All right, sorry to cut you off there, but we'll keep folks updated if anyone's tuning in. Show them the live picks as they come across.
Is there a Byron Murphy or who am I thinking of there? There's another guy high on that list that was going to go in the high teens.
Yeah, you're Byron Murphy out of Texas, defensive tackle. He'll be 305 come tomorrow and he's still probably running 4.7, 4.8. I mean, he's a specimen, and you can never have enough of those guys. You look at what Goody's done in his drafts. He's always stocking up at positions that you don't necessarily think you need to, that you already have a premier player at. We certainly have one in Kenny Clark, but if Byron Murphy can walk in his shoes, in Kenny Clark's shoes, we're in a pretty good situation. And in our defense, we need that premier interior defensive lineman.
So we're at pick 16 coming up now. And Murphy was projected to be around 17, 18, 19. We've had all the quarterbacks go. If he gets pushed back around 20, all of a sudden he becomes a possibility for the Packers to go up and get that nobody at all talked about. I mean, they were talking about the tackles, Guyton and maybe Amarius Mims. They were talking about Cooper DeJean. Maybe as an outside deal, Cooper Edge or an inside linebacker, but nobody in the world thought we'd have a chance at a guy like Murphy. So it becomes very interesting right now. What do you think, Schmitty? You talk about the mold that's trying to be formed in Green Bay, very much patterning the Packers after the San Francisco 49ers, where LaFleur kind of came up and cut his teeth, and have a dominating run game, an absolutely dominating offensive line with Josh Jacobs running the football, so that you got our boy Love back there. Everyone throwing play action passes after we gash him in the run game. So does adding an offensive lineman to an already pretty good offensive line in the first round? We know we're going to get linemen somewhere in this draft. Does that move us further down the road, or being able to stock this versatile chameleon-like defense? Hey, we have no more Joe Barry. Joe Barry's nowhere to be seen. We have no more worrywart defense now, okay? We got a single high defense, a disguising defense that can morph into cover 3, cover 2, cover 0, because you got to have a versatile other safety. And so that guy has been touted to be Cooper DeJean. Can be an outside corner, a slot cover guy, the other safety who's a chameleon and disguises things, and maybe gives you a turnover type defense where we're no longer a 2-gap scheme. We're going to be a 1-gap scheme, get up the field. Kenny Clark has already been licking his chops at what Hafley's had to say. So my question is, does the lineman, a stud lineman that you can move over to the right tackle and move Tom into center, does that do more for the team right away in the first round, or having this versatile Swiss Army knife defensive back like Cooper DeJean do more for you?
I think if you're a Matt LaFleur, I think you feel pretty confident in how well you've ran offense in the NFL this far, that you can give this pick away to your new defensive coordinator. Say, hey, what toy do you need to unlock this defense? And if that's Cooper DeJean, if that's Byron Murphy, whoever he feels right, especially right now where this draft board is sitting and we have some capital we can move if we want to get the guy, whomever that may be, they make that move. They give Hafley the carte blanche here to decide who he thinks makes this thing just that much better, because in LaFleur's case, he knows that he has a good product. Now, would we love to see the center from Duke in Graham Barton, or one of these maulers, Troy Fontenot out of Washington, who's an absolute animal? Would we love that for our run game, Josh Jacobs, and what we can do in play action? Sure. But I think this is more of, let's give the new DC something to play with, and whatever he needs, let's go with that.
Let's take a look at a few of your other scenarios here. So some other toys that you had us maybe playing with. What do you think of Zerzan Newton, Dad?
I haven't seen him on any of our boards, any of these guys. So I know he's a big stud interior defensive guy from Illinois.
Big Board 11. He's still there.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, I couldn't be more in agreement with Schmitty, which is a little bit unusual. Usually we come from a little bit different side of things. So this is kind of unusual for us, Schmitty, but I'm starting to feel pretty bonded with you now. Or we might have to see where this leads to. But no, I think that to give Jeff Hafley something to create a defense that gets turnovers, Schmitty, an aggressive attacking defense that gets turnovers, gets the ball to your offense on a short field, that puts pressure on the passer. So I am really intrigued at the notion of Byron Murphy, who I did not think we were going to have a chance. This Newton guy is maybe kind of somewhat like Byron Murphy, another tackle. So if he's there, it certainly makes you wonder. I was thinking we were going to be Cooper DeJean or Guyton, the tackle.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. The one that everyone in Packer Nation wants. You made it happen in one of your mock drafts here. Nick Deedon in the chat here, I don't think is as optimistic as maybe some of us are about Cooper DeJean. What do you think that guy looks like in a Jeff Hafley defense? Do we have some fun with that? I mean, come on.
Griffey, I try to think back to the last time we had a fan favorite pick, and that's probably Clinton Dix, right? I think we were all on this guy, and we finally they don't let us down. We get the guy that everyone wants.
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love, yes. The 0.001% Griff Christensen's walking the earth, certainly. No, I'm skeptical about Cooper DeJean. That's a mock draft, Griffey, because I did one for our fans. I love you all, but I certainly think, especially now how the board's going, there's probably just better pure talent that's available. And
Schmitty, to push back on that, this is a guy that could have been a borderline top 15, top 10 pick if he doesn't have an injury midseason. We got the rule change in the NFL where this guy could be an elite return man. Now, we already have one in Keyshawn Nixon, but I think that makes his stock go up higher. But the other thing is the versatility, right? In the Hafley defense, I don't know. He's got to line up on one position day one of the season, right? So that is can be a misnomer. You can't overhype the versatility. But don't you think there's some advantages to letting Jeff Hafley move that guy around? I don't think it's overhyped or anything at all.
No, not at all, Griffey. Again, goes back to give the toy that Hafley wants. Give him what he needs. And if he thinks a versatile secondary person is what's going to get us to that next level, so be it. I just I don't know if, like you said, he can only play one position, right? He's versatile. And right now I'm seeing guys that they play one position, they do it exceptionally, and they're plug and play immediately. And I'm looking at the cornerback out of Toledo in Alabama. That would be a blessing if you had them opposite of Jair right now. So much so that I would take that situation over a kid that we don't know if he's the nickel guy, the safety, what have you. I want the sure things, and I'm not sure we're so certain that this guy is going to be a formidable take one of those 11 positions on the field at all times, where I know a couple of these other guys would.
So Schmitty crystallizes the argument in that, and don't forget about Nate Wiggins from Clemson, 4.28, that could possibly fall to us too. So if you're looking at a pure outside corners, you probably have a hard time arguing that Kool-Aid McKinstry and Nate Wiggins are better than Cooper DeJean. But what does this defense call for? It is a multiple defense that thrives on disguise. So you need to have a guy that can line up like he's a slot corner and then drop back to safety. Cooper DeJean has been noted to have superior instinct for that underneath intermediate area in the middle of the field. And so and then if you get an injury bug, you got the kid Valentine who looked really good. You've got Stokes coming off an injury. If one of those guys didn't quite hold up, you could move Cooper DeJean outside. So the really argument is, do you take the premier stud, sure thing, outside corner, or you take the guy with versatility that allows you to play the scheme? And I think that's really the argument. And it could go both ways. Personally, I like the guy with versatility. It'll be interesting to see what the Packers think. But it's a really a twist, Schmitty, that a guy like Byron Murphy could be available, who might just be too good inside to pass
men and women who serve in the United States military, your sacrifices to defend our country's freedom do not go unnoticed. Thank you so much. With the 16th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Byron Murphy, defensive tackle, Texas.
Well, we don't have to worry about that scenario, too.
That's a Seahawks pick, right? I mean, that's
Any chance we see a repeat in I'm seeing Deeds in the chat here thinking maybe or hinting at, even if DeJean's there, we don't take him. Do you see a scenario where that happens, kind of like JSN a year ago? Is how I felt. I was ready to go all in for Jackson Smith and Jigba. Didn't quite happen. So I think that's possible. Would you rule out that possibility, Schmitty?
Of course. I really have faith in what Goody has done. His first round picks outside of Darnell Savage, have been pretty good, Griffey. As a GM, we're talking about Kwesi getting his walking papers soon, because you got to hit on first round picks. It needs to be a sure thing without question. And so I go back to, what is Cooper? Is he what exactly is he? And so you can't quite put the finger on it. I'm always a favor of plug and play guys, first round guarantees. You need them to have longevity as a GM, to have longevity as a franchise, guys that you can think will stick around for 4 to 9 years on your team, 9 if you're lucky, right? I have a bunch of faith in Goody, and wouldn't question if Cooper's there and we pass up on him.
Here was one more scenario. Did we go through this one?
No, Tyler Guyton.
Yeah. What do you think about that? You mentioned Barton, of course, too. What's your guys' take on the O-line approach here and where we might go if we decide to go in that direction?
I'll jump in. I'm not interested in a lineman at that spot. I will start considering one at 41. I would think, you might think there of Kinsley Suimata'eo at 41, and I want a defensive stud in there. I want to give Jeff Hafley what he needs to get that defense to be much more dynamic, be a turnover type defense. I think Tyler Guyton is a risky guy. He's only played, 8 or 14 games. And so that's a little rich for my blood right there. I remember, who's the guy in 2011 that broke his leg? Derek Sherrod, first round draft pick, bust. I remember 1997, John Michaels, USC, looked like a stud, bust, never played it down. And so, it's not really the Packer way. Certainly take an inside lineman that early. They'll find him later in the draft. So it would be unusual. I know Graham Barton is supposed to be just a stud that you might not be able to pass up. But I don't think Guyton works at that spot for the Packers. I think they'll get somebody a little later.
I agree with that. Just in terms of the ability that we've had to develop mid to late round linemen in recent years, it's incredible. And I don't know if you can bank on that forever, but it seems like they got a system there, and we can get more value than the average team. So my wife's sending me some intel that I think is interesting. Sounds like the Denver Broncos were in on J.J. McCarthy, and it came to pass that they were trying to trade up for him, but the Vikings trade with the Jets got it done. So maybe the trade with the Jets was really them bartering against Denver, might have been what turned out happening there. We got a new pick for the Vikings here, Dallas Turner.
So I think the versatility that he has,
I like having Nick Saban.
Phenomenal pro player.
Of all the guys you've had so many edge rushers.
Bust.
And I'm not asking where does he stack up against those others, but with what he brings to the table, is it a unique set of talent, skill that he has?
I think what's unique about Dallas is he's a good enough athlete to drop. He can cover tight ends man to man.
This guy going to play inside backer. For us,
but you see
the power.
6'3", 250. I forget what the Vikings run a 4-3. So this guy, I guess he fits the mold. That's okay. I mean, he's touted, right? Like people thought he was the best defensive player in the draft. Not teams didn't think so. Otherwise, he'd have been taken in front of some of these other offensive linemen. I'm not sold. You had to move up to get him if you wanted him, so the Vikings make the right choice there. He's not a guy that fits on our defense.
So timeout. Do the Vikings have any picks left? They already traded.
Yeah, what's the capital?
I mean, what did they have to do? They were at 23, right?
Yeah, let's see if I can find that out.
They can't have many picks left in the whole draft. I guess that's what they wanted. But the other good thing about that, they were purportedly potentially in on Cooper DeJean. And so now that's another bullet dodge there.
So they gave to the Jaguars 2024 5th-round pick, 2025 3rd-round pick, 2025 4th-round pick.
Oh, my God.
Then swapped 23 for 17.
They're giving half the draft away for next year.
Well, it's not surprising. I think your brother Greg has changed my thinking on this. It wasn't really that sophisticated what he came up with, but it was something maybe I tend to overlook. You got to look at this from the perspective of a guy that's trying to keep his job. Kwesi needs this to work now, and he doesn't care about those future draft picks if he gets fired. So it's just a matter of keeping the job for another year or two. It's not maybe what's in the best interest of the organization. He's in hit now mode, and if he saw a guy he liked, he's willing to mortgage the future for that.
And that is the antithesis of the way to general manage a ball club. You general manage 3 to 5 years down the road if you've been successful and have the team doing well, just like Goody has done, picking Jordan Love 3 years before you needed him, and you're looking down the road to how you're going to restock that team. So crazy Aldolfo's at it again. We'll see if it works.
Hey, a lot of people are loving this pick, it looks like. In Vikings Nation, my wife is all jacked up, blowing up the phone here. She's a Dallas Turner supporter already, so we'll see how that comes to pass. But what was the capital? Did we look into that for the McCarthy pick?
Say again?
The previous pick for McCarthy, whether they have to give
what
the
did they
Jets?
give up for McCarthy? I heard the 4th and 5th, and then they got back a 6th.
Okay.
So they can't have much left in this. I mean, guys, think of what we've gotten in the later rounds of the Packers. I mean, we loaded up last year. 7th round, Valentine. 6th round, the defensive tackle that just was a machine. Colby Wooden and who's the other guy that went in the 6th that was just fantastic for us last year. So those later round picks can blossom into players. Carl Brooks, thank you very much. He was just a stud. If you redrafted again this year, Carl Brooks would have gone in the 2nd or 3rd round. So giving up these late round 2nd and 3rd day picks is not inconsequential. And so it may work, but you're really limiting yourself, and you better hope you're hitting now.
Yeah. Oh, it's been a lively one for the Minnesota sports fans, though. I think they'd be pretty happy coming into, knowing they got their guy at quarterback and Dallas Turner. It's like we said, mortgaging the future perhaps, but they were backed into a corner a little bit here. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. The thing that I think is interesting, Schmitty, is let's entertain for a moment here because we're Packers fans and this is fun to do. Well, with things going south, you talked about, Kwesi having to turn in his working papers and so forth. How about this? Things go south. McCarthy isn't the guy. Darnold throws up all over himself. They struggle to win very many games. No doubt Kwesi's gone. We know that. Did they get to a point where they have to trade JJ? JJ's demanding a trade at the midseason deadline. And then, before you know it, maybe they get rid of KOC, a guy who I think is a pretty good coach, but they might lose him just because the Wilfs see that the U.S. Bank Stadium is burning and they kind of drastically make a decision there. I think that's a not too crazy scenario that could happen in Minnesota. Now, if J.J. McCarthy comes in and is a hit or Sam Darnold limps along at least enough to get him by, maybe they get out without quite such fireworks. But I think that's a legitimate possibility this year.
Two things there, Griffey. First, KOC. The Ziggy and his brother, they would be absolute fools to let the guy go.
Why would you assume that they're not?
Yeah, Schmitty.
You're making an assumption that they're not fools.
They hired crazy Aldolfo. who has no experience in scouting. He was a stockbroker and an analytics expert. Then they hired him because he's an East Coast guy and he was a nice woke hire. I mean, they're nuts. They're nuts, these people over there in Minnesota.
Griffey, you don't let a guy that, I mean, he gave Kirk his damn near his best start of a season. I mean, the guy knows what he's doing. There's no question about it. The Packers would be okay. Like, he'd be a good coach, Griffey, on any team. Like,
I think he's a good coach. I agree.
Yeah,
I'm rooting for him to get fired because
question.
the Wilfs get out over their skis when they win 3 games this year.
Now, next, JJ, they could mess this up. And JJ gave them the opportunity to give him a deal last season to start the year. And once the season started,
like
I believe he said, no, we're not going to talk about it once the season starts. He stuck to that. The offer that they made him probably wasn't what he was looking for. What does he do? He has another excellent year. The price continues to rise. Okay, and the team wasn't willing to give it up last season. Now the price is even higher. It makes sense that something could fall through here, and JJ is asking for a different team. Beyond that, if it looks like if McCarthy isn't your guy, right, and he's not the quarterback of the future, and things go sour, they haven't won a game come middle of the season, it's not out of the realm of possibilities where they would move on from JJ, knowing that this man wants $35 million a year. You have a franchise that's not really in a position to give that up because they don't have anyone to throw the ball to him. I could see that playing out. Like, it makes sense, like, especially if you're Adolfo Mensa and you want your career to continue as the GM. Well, I just spent a bunch of capital to get a quarterback and a DN in the first round of this draft. I need some of that. I need some more picks back. And so you can sell your owners, the Wolves, who you guys don't think so very highly of. It seems like they could be convinced pretty easily that they just traded JJ away and they got a bunch of picks for him. And let's see what this looks like 3 more years later. That's a path to buy Kwesi more time as the GM with the Vikings.
Here was the next.
Without a guy, I'm sure Coach is going to have a story about sitting in his family room in Cochran, Georgia there. But one of the few he did not get. Kirby got him. And he is, like you said, a massive human being, close to 6'8", 340, plays on that.
So if, as Packer fans here, what do you think's better for us? If the Vikings screw things up and trade away Justin Jefferson, or they sign him to a $40 million deal and allocate way too much of their salary cap to a wide receiver?
I would say the latter. It's been pretty well proven now. The Chiefs moved on from their speedster, sent him down to Miami. What's that, Griff?
Tyreek.
Yeah. How are the Packers doing after having let Devontae Adams walk for $150 million over to Las Vegas? Would we want him back at that? Not only no, hell no. He can't come back on our team for that amount of money. He isn't worth it. And I thought the Vikings blew it. They could have traded JJ this offseason for probably at least 2 number 1s and a number 2 at minimum, right? And now you can move up and get Roma Dunzier or Marvin Harrison or BJ or Brian Thomas, the other LSU kid, and you can get your edge rusher and you can get your quarterback and you can still have those draft picks that you just gave up to restock your team. So I would say that keeping him around and paying him, and it may not be 35 million, guys. He may want 40 million a year. And there's just no one guy anymore that's worth that. So that's my opinion on the deal. And I think it's kind of been borne out by what's gone on recently in the NFL and what Goody did to go out and load up at receiver. Now, Griff, you talked about Njigba Smith last year. You got to remember, instead of just getting Njigba Smith at 12, 13, 14, We got Lucas Van Ness, we got Luke Musgrave, and we got Jaden Reed instead of taking Justin Jigba Smith. That's what you call general managing.
Yeah, no. How do you figure that again? Remind me of our draft scenario.
Well, to get
we
in
got
Jigba,
the 1 second-round pick for Aaron Rodgers is the one that we took. We might have even got more than that because we got Van Ness. We got the second-round pick from the Aaron Rodgers trade that we took Musgrave with. And then we had our original second-round pick, which we traded back and got Jaden Reed and got another pick. So, rather than investing too much. Now, we could have done it a little bit differently, got Smith and Jigba. I think there was another defensive player, that would have replaced the Lucas Van Ness pick that we could have got at the start of the second round. So I was happy with the way it worked out. I was a pretty big Jaden Reed supporter from early on.
You would be hard-pressed to say right now that Njigba Smith is a better player than Jigba. So, okay. Whatever. Who you want, him or Jaden Reed? So
I would take Jaden Reed right now. I think I'm fully on board with your take. I would not trade that. I would not make that trade 1-for-1.
Absolutely. So, hey, I got a question for you guys. Is Quentin Mitchell still on the board? The Toledo? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You're what are you at? 19th pick. The value on the board, guys, says our 25th pick plus 88 or 91, the third round pick, gets us up to 20. That, Schmitty, is something I could entertain, moving up and taking that kid who's an absolute stud with that most incredible high character you want to talk about. Stayed at Toledo when he could have gone anywhere. That is a decision I could definitely abide right here, and it's going to be interesting to see if they want to make a move like that if he isn't picked up right here by Los Angeles, which he very well may be.
Vikings down to 1 first-round pick and 2 fifth-rounders in the 2025 draft. 3 picks for the whole draft.
They have another first-round pick?
Next year they have 1 first-round pick.
Oh, in 2025.
Yeah.
He's trading away the future to keep his job. You nailed it. It's not the way to general manage.
No,
it's
not the position you should allow your GM to make decisions. That you shouldn't let him make decisions that are going to affect longer than the tenure that he's likely to have there. So,
well, and this is the point, Griff, I think you were trying to make with Schmitty. I think all three of us agree. KOC is a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
I'd love to have a coach like that. But when
I don't know if I'd trade him for our guy, but I think he's a hell of a coach nonetheless.
Anyway, but when you've got owners that and I cannot believe that Kevin O'Connell is in approval with what crazy Aldolfo is doing over there. There's a rift going on there, and it's the Wilfs. It starts right at the top. Thank God, praise the Lord. We don't have any goofery owners like the Wilfs, and we'll see if they can make it work out. But that thing seems like it's on a heck of an uneven kilter to me.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. We got a pick coming up shortly from the Rams, and then it starts to get pretty close.
Still on the board.
With the 19th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Jared Verse, defensive end, Florida State.
We're live. We're live, as they say.
We got a lot of options.
We're at the poker table right now. We got outs. Still.
Well,
we're
it
not
seems
drawing
like
dead.
It's pretty. I don't want to jinx anything, but it seems like we're in a spot where it's going to be pretty hard for us to end up with a guy who we aren't pretty excited about. There's just a lot of options.
Griffey, you got Kenyon Mitchell, you got Terrion Arnold, we got the great hope of Cooper DeJean, okay, and like I would not be disappointed if you go ahead and get Graham Barton and say we have found our center for the next 10 years, okay. Yep. Like we're in a great spot. So, who else? We got Pittsburgh on the clock. We have who follows Pittsburgh here.
Coming up here, we have Pittsburgh followed by. Oh, it's not showing very well on my screen here. Should be better. Pittsburgh followed by the Dolphins, followed by Philly, Jacksonville, Dallas, and then us.
Okay, yeah. There's still the Troy Fontenot of Washington. another stud offensive lineman. Crazy how quickly everyone knew, all the talking heads, this was a very deep draft for offensive linemen. It's shown out to be the case, and Troy Fontenot is definitely still part of that group. So any team would be lucky to get his services. So yeah, we're in a great spot, Griffey. Look at Yerzan Newton from Illinois, the D tackle. He'd be a stud too. We're like you said, we're in a pretty good spot. I don't think we can be disappointed right now.
So what did we say here? I just want to go back to what I had a second ago. So we got, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 5 picks ahead of us. Could we see Kenyon Mitchell, Terry Arnold, Troy Fontenot, Graham Barton, and Cooper DeJean all go off the board?
Yes, you can.
Would you be hurting? That would leave us with, a guy from the likes of your boys Zerzan, Nate Wiggins, Kool-Aid McKinstry still be alive under that situation.
Yes.
Brian Thomas, Chop Robinson. Those guys are guys that we're likely for sure to have a shot at.
Guyton would likely be there.
Yep.
Tackle.
A guy that I'm interested in, this is maybe for tomorrow talk, but Xavier Worthy. How about the fastest 40? Adding that guy to the mix is an insurance policy for, as you called him, Mr. Hamstring Dad. This is my take for this season, Schmitty, and why I'm not worried about your Bears. I don't think we'd have too much trouble with the 85 Bears if they came back. I don't think there's a strong likelihood of us losing any games, Schmitty. I really think we're loaded up.
There we go, Schmitty.
I couldn't hold it in for too long. But, okay.
What's wrong with you, boy?
My general thinking here, we have an all-time stacked roster here. We need to take dart throws with high upside. I want to take a swing for the fences with Xavier Worthy, just because if he hits, you can't teach that sort of speed.
Griffey, I'm going to come over there and bop you over the head. We do not need another guy that's taking the top off of a defense, okay? We have that in spades. That is the furthest thing that this draft needs to see is a wide receiver taken in the first 5 rounds.
I don't think we have that in spades. I don't think we have a true deep threat like that other than Christian Watson. And he's a question.
And he wasn't even he didn't come to the top of my mind when I was thinking taking tops off the defense. I was thinking Bo Melton. I'm not counting for that bum to be on our team next season. That guy sucks, Griffey. He's not a very good football player.
Here we
Number
go.
9.
I think Packer Nation got a little bit overexcited about Bo Melton.
No.
He had a nice
Bo
game.
Melton,
He's fine.
If I'm looking for a top taking defenses off their game, I'm looking at number 80. I'm not looking at number 9. The guy he can't stay healthy.
Did you see the way that the Dallas Cowboys respected number 9 in the playoffs? And that the way that opened up all those fake crossing routes that Romeo Doubs was running?
Griffey, okay, we're going back to Xavier Worthy. He's not going to be on our football team. I hate to break it to you. We need interior stuff, or we need that stud cornerback. We're not drafting a wide receiver in the second round. We're going to grab an offensive lineman. If Tyler Guyton's still there in the second round, Griffey, who do you want? You want a guy that runs 4.29, or do you want a tackle that's going to protect your beloved Jordan Love? I know where I would be going with this.
Schmitty, I honestly feel this way. I feel bad drafting any players at this juncture of the draft because it's going to be tough for them to crack our lineup. That's where I'm at.
Okay, you guys, I got Toaster Man over here. We need to watch with the appliances. I got to get Griff off the lithium over there. There needs to be a voice of reason somewhere down the middle here because you guys have taken off on both sides of the deal here. So a little sanity back to the broadcast here.
Well,
now.
Let's talk about sanity. I just want to talk about my track record in recent years here. Talking about the playoffs after, well before we had the Lions and Chiefs games under wraps, predicting that was going to happen, seeing it come to pass, telling you guys Jordan Love's going to be in the MVP conversation, telling you we got to, head to where the ball is going to be, not where the ball is. This team, I would be surprised if we aren't a 1 or 2 seed this year, and I would not be surprised if they're an all-time great team. I think this is the best team we've had since 2011.
I can go with the 1 or 2 seed, but an all-time great team. Let's just take a little deep breath and see if we can get through the preseason without Mr. Hamstring tearing something, and keep our running back in line and see what happens with Halfley. But certainly, Schmitty, certainly we're optimistic. We're very
What
optimistic.
weaknesses do we have? Let's talk about the so-called chinks in the armor. Where do we have room for improvement?
We need to shore up the swing tackle position. We lost the big man over there that was our swing tackle.
Yash.
So we need to do that. Yash took off as well. He should. We lost John Runyon. Seemingly maybe not a big deal, but we know our center, Josh Myers, has been average at best. So we would really shore up.
Next pick. We'll jump back.
To embark on their NFL career striving to make an impact on the field. But their impacts will be felt far beyond their field, but in their communities. No one embodied that more than Walter Payton. And today, the league's highest honor, the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award, presented by Nationwide, recognized his lasting legacy. Tonight, we are proud to welcome the 2023 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year winner, Cam Hayward.
First of all, I want to say thank you, Commissioner. And most importantly, I want to say thank you to the Payton family, the NFL, and Nationwide. The NFL draft is special. To my fellow NFL players and the prospects joining the league this week, I want to challenge you. Use your platform to brighten someone's day. The opportunity before you is a gift. And by coming here and being in this league, seize that moment. Be better in our communities, be better for our league and our world. Thank you so much. Here we go. And with the 20th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Troy Fautanu, tackle, Washington.
All
right. Daddy, we're saying our weaknesses. Are we?
Yeah, the center position and the offensive line. We could really shore up if Zach Tom moved over there and we had a tackle who could take over.
Safety.
So, safety. In Halfley's defense, inside linebacker.
Yep.
Right. We don't even have one to go along with Quay and the other guy, the Boston College guy that's Halfley's boy that took over for in the middle of last year. So those are some of the more.
That's reasonable. Can we talk about strengths? We got the best wide receiving core in the NFL.
Kicker
is a bad one. We got it. Before we're an all-time great, we do need to have the kicker situation shored up. That could hurt us for sure.
I was very happy to see the acquisition of Joseph from the Vikings, who's a bona fide, at least decent kicker with NFL experience. So that helps. But we got to be sure we got a real deal there if we're going to be a championship team, because old Carlson kicked us right out of the NFC Championship last year with that terrible. That he and Darnell Savage, the worst pick that Goody ever made. But now there's another reason why I look at Goody trying to correct for that and going to get a versatile guy who can play safety. So I still like Cooper DeJean, but it's getting tougher now because I'm not so sure Cooper will be the best pick on the board with all this defensive talent.
We'll have to see.
Yeah, be interesting.
I think we have the best wide receiver core in the NFL. And this is, I was the most critical of our receiving core out of anyone when it was Geronimo Allison running out there at number 2, and Jake Kumro was secretly the second best wide receiver on our team. I mean, it was dire straits there. And Schmitty, I do apologize that's what we did to your boy Aaron for a while there, because that hurt us when we could add a couple more runs at the whole thing. But now what we have is incredible. We have the two best young tight ends.
if Christian Watson is healthy, I can entertain your discussion. But if he's not, no, we don't have the speedster. So that's where your idea about an insurance policy for the guy to take the top off,
Yeah,
I
well,
think
to Schmidt's point, we have Bo Melton is not a horrible option. I'm just really high on Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks, and we know what we get in Dobbs. He's been solid. So I just think we got a lot of weapons that way. We got the two best young tight ends. We're not impressed with what those guys did last year. That was awesome. They're only going to be better. I'm excited to see what they can do. Our running game is better. We got a bell cow. We loved Aaron Jones. We love the versatility. We took a step forward in that department here, and we're going to go get another one in the coming days here. Jordan Love, Schmitty, could legitimately take a step back and win MVP this season. That is where we're at the quarterback. That is where we're at.
I'm going to eat you alive.
And Jeff Hafley is going to get us to have a top 5 defense.
We should just sign the papers now. You know what? I'm putting in our tickets right now. Here, Griffey, I'm booking our trip.
Yes, get it done, Schmitty, whatever it takes.
Where's the we're going to Phoenix or Louisiana this year. It's all. I'm
is it back in New Orleans?
It might be Dallas. And so if that's the case, we're for sure going. I'm getting all of our futures in so that we so just to make it easy on us. I don't want us to forget and miss out on such a advantageous opportunity. Griffey, we got holes, my friend. Okay, we still need.
It's in New Orleans. Are we going to get a recreation of the greatest Super Bowl hat and see Favre and Reggie White? Oh man, that was an awesome. Yeah, we're bringing the gear back from the '90s. In the chat, they're saying '95. That was '96 season, I believe. But nonetheless, we're going to get that gear back. I like that. Was that not the best Super Bowl hat?
Oh, by far. I still got one with my dad so graciously gave me all the memorabilia. I still got a couple with the tags on.
Well, and I think that's the reason Lil Wayne became such a Packer fan is because they had, I think it was from when the Packers played the Super Bowl, they had Packers cups that were left over in his hometown in New Orleans there. Anyways, I think that's the spot for us to get it done, Schmidt. You think that'd be a fun place to take a little trip? I might prefer that over our Vegas option last year.
I agree. If Packers Corner is doing our first Super Bowl episodes and Baton Rouge, we're in a very excellent situation. I love Jordan Love. I love him, Griffey. I think he's really good. I don't think that he can have a lesser season than he did this previous year and still win MVP. That's some nonsense that you're spewing. But we got a lot of good pieces. We don't need to spend it on a wide receiver. We don't need to spend it on tight ends. We don't need a quarterback. We don't need any sort of really any edge rush. Okay, that's pretty much taken care of. Preston Smith is last year. God bless him. I hope he enjoys this season because it might be a one that's Super Bowl worthy.
We've seen some good quarterback play, Schmitty. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that 8 or 9 game stretch. We saw Jordan Love. We saw him go in to Dallas and have a perfect quarterback rating until they brought him out for one more throw. I mean, the stuff he was doing was pretty incredible.
Yes. I can't wait. It's $425. I believe the contract is available come 5/6, if I'm not mistaken, and we're gonna pay him $60 bajillion every year, and then your head, you're gonna be a turtle. You're gonna tuck your head into your shell because it's oh crap. Now this guy actually has to be who we think he might. He needs to be the man of your dreams, Griffey.
We're not going to be able to have 5-6 deep wide receivers like we have right now indefinitely. I think that's for sure.
Boys, let me get you focused now. The pick is coming up pretty soon here. I want to get you focused in. The Pete Doherty said we were going to pick the other Cooper, Edgerrin Cooper, not Cooper DeJean, inside linebacker who has a heck of a record at rushing the pass rusher. But here we sit. Is Graham Barton still on the board? Tyler Guyton is still on the board.
The 21st pick
I looked
in the
ahead.
2024 NFL Draft. the Miami Dolphins select Chop Robinson, linebacker, Penn State.
Great name. Great name. Got to hand it to him that
We're going to Miami!
Go to Miami, baby. See ya. See
So we
ya.
got 22, 23, 24. We got 3 picks.
one.
Oh,
Let's take a
what-
look back at the board here.
I can't believe who's sitting there on the board still.
Quinion
You
Mitchell,
know, hey, Griff.
Terry
prepare
and Arnold,
yourself. Yeah.
Graham Barton, Cooper DeJean.
Nate Wiggins.
Yep.
Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Yep.
Tyler Guyton. You know what the Packers could do here, Schmitty?
Lad
They could
McConkey.
trade back. They could trade back
They could trade back.
and pick up another pick and then move around, and they could end up with Cooper DeJean and Edrin Cooper and somebody else. I mean, this is making my head spin here.
We could do the opposite of Kwesi here. Let's look at the long term. Let's load up. Possibility.
Work your witchcraft on me, Goody. Let me spin, baby. I want.
Don't
I
trade
have
out
these
of the night, though.
360s.
I want to see it.
Get out of the night.
I want to see a
Nope,
new guy
nope,
in green
I
and
want
yellow
it.
tonight.
I want it,
Schmitty.
Griffey. I want it. Let work that witchcraft, baby. Give me 3
Griff.
picks in the second round.
Tell the viewers who your pick from Florida State was the year we traded back and you were distraught and we got Greg Jennings instead of the boy you wanted from
Well, I
Florida
wanted
State,
Chad Jackson, but
who never played it down.
well, he
hardly.
got hurt immediately. You can't, hold an injury against me. It wasn't like he flamed out, but
Don't
it
pick
did
a
work
guy.
out well with Greg Jennings, obviously.
Same way with Jordy Nelson when we dropped back out of the first round and got Jordy. So you never know.
Christian Watson too, right, Schmitty?
Who's this going to be here?
It's worked out.
Is
it's
Mitchell
worked
about
out
to
in
go,
our
or
favor.
is Graham Barton?
Guys, we are okay. Now it's go time. Now,
I
okay,
think
Griffey,
we
I
trade
agree.
back.
I don't-
guys.
I don't want to see it, but we've had our great success by trading back and getting second, third round stuff and making them into all pros. There's just too much juicy, tasty things right in front of us. Give Jair a stud opposite corner. We would be in such a good position if that's not a ticket for our friend Halfley. Like, we are in such a good spot right now. We're either getting a center for the next 10 years or we are getting a stud secondary player.
Yep.
Is your tackle from Illinois still there?
He's still there, Gar. Like, we are in such a great spot now. Like, outside linebackers, edge players that had no business in our scheme, they were drafted in front. Sure, I would have loved to seen that kid from Washington creep his way to us, the guard, but that wasn't going to happen. Yeah, it's time to make a pick.
Deeds
Like,
thinks
we have
Terry and
good
Arnold
options.
going to the Eagles for sure. In the chat are his thoughts.
So, guys,
Well,
if we trade back, we're probably looking at picking up like a third round pick, and then maybe moving back up. That third round pick could be a running back. You might be looking at Jonathan Brooks, Jalen Wright, the Tennessee kid, the Florida State kid. Anything, get your juices flowing there about a pick like that. Which
Derek
back
said
like,
this is where Derek Crumry is coming in on. I have to get his thoughts maybe after we got a pick in here. Can't believe we're going to ruin our team with Cooper DeJean. Waste a first-round pick on a guy that will be out of the league in 2 years.
Derek is my boy. He hit it on the head. We don't want him, Griffey. We don't want him for obvious reasons. He doesn't fit our mold.
You wish he was painting his nails and crying in his mom's arms? Schmitty, is that more your pace?
Griffey,
Schmitty.
if you can throw it 80 yards down the field on your kneecaps, you can wear. I could 10 different colors on my fingers.
Kyle
I don't care.
Bowler used to hoist it through the goalpost from one knee.
Griffey,
midfield.
Don't deflect. Don't deflect. Please, you trying to justify Cooper DeJean. I know we talked about it earlier. There's just too many surefire things outside of him that I'd much rather have.
Schmitty, we might get Cooper DeJean at 41, or we might trade back up.
41.
Cooper DeJean's downside is Micah Hyde, Schmitty.
Oh my God! Not you too. Not you too, Gar. Oh my God!
The worst he's going to do is Micah Hyde. He is a Swiss Army knife that can do whatever you need in the backfield, and he may not be, your boy who he think he's Kool-Aid?
Dad, if we get Cooper DeJean, we might need to have your other brother Wick on the podcast.
Yeah,
to run a little victory lap.
Well,
how would you describe Wick and his Iowa Hawkeye fandom to Schmitty here?
Well, this is what Wickster said, and that Cooper DeJean was thinking about coming back to Iowa. They were going to put him on offense, and he was going to win the Heisman Trophy. So,
oh my God!
Well, there you go. We're going to get the Heisman Trophy winner with the 41st pick or whatever we trade back with, and we're going to be let's go. Jeff Hafley's going to be doing cartwheels at 1265 Lombardi, and watch out. We might end up with Nate Wickens and Cooper DeJean, Schmitty.
If we get Quinion or Mitchell, do we keep Stokes or Valentine outside and move Jair inside? What do you think that looks like?
I could listen to that. Schmitty, I think, could listen to that.
No, I can't listen to that.
That's coming from your boy Deeds.
I can't hear that at all. That is Deeds said that. Buffoon. That's buffoonery. That's so silly. We're putting all pro in the inside. You kidding me? Good Lord.
I don't think we need anyone else inside other than Keyshawn Nixon.
I was having a good time.
This past year, we played games in front of amazing crowds in London and Germany. This upcoming season, we will play our first ever game in South America in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
I'm getting a little anxious as we get close.
And we will be coming to more markets on a global basis soon.
Be prepared for the
The
trade back.
NFL's International Player Pathway Program
had a zinger for you.
helps foreign-born players
Jalen
reach
Ramsey
the NFL. Elite international athletes have an opportunity to compete at the NFL level and potentially earn a spot on an NFL roster. One of the most successful players from the program is the Philadelphia Eagles' Jordan Mailata. Jordan is currently in his native Australia for the opening of a new NFL academy for high school football players. To make the Eagles selection, let's join Jordan live from the Eagles draft party in Burleigh Beach, Gold Coast, Australia. Take it, Jordan.
Let's go. How good is this? Thank you, Uncle Roger. Good evening to those of you from the beautiful land down under. With the 22nd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Quinion Mitchell, defensive back, Toledo.
God. That's it.
Tyler, settle down and have a nice high bourbon like Evan Williams.
God, yeah, Evan Williams and Dr. Pepper. Whoever should drink that should be shot. Shoot those people.
Schmitty,
Dr. Pepper.
I'm
so angry.
Joking.
Not joking. These should have been ours, Griffey. The kid should have been ours. Right in front of our faces.
Schmitty, show us your hand. Show us your hand. Your other
in the camera there. Other hand.
Get the sharp objects out of the room and get yourself under control, because we're going to end up with Cooper DeJean, and you need to be able to take a deep breath.
Oh my God! I'm going to run my head.
When did you do that? When did you injure your hand? That was before the Niners game.
January 6th.
What were you doing on January 6th?
Yeah, right. Exactly. I was in a different state.
That's when you were on toaster watch.
Griffey, we totally botched this. Goody, if you're listening to us right now, you messed this whole thing up. He was ours for the
trade
taking.
up there.
Obviously, Griffey, we got good things in front of us. If Terry and Arnold, he's still there. Get him, Griffey. If we take this kid from Iowa, we don't know what in the world. We thought like our poop doesn't stink, Griffey. Our poop doesn't stink if we grab Cooper DeJean. Like You're going to spin it in some way, like in like week 10 when he's not even playing, he's not even suiting up. It was like, oh, we're playing so
He's a
well
locker
that we
room
didn't
guy,
need
leader in the
we didn't need a
clubhouse,
first round draft pick to succeed
galvanizing
because
the
Jordan Love's
core.
so good. It's going to be some dumb spin by you, and I'm going to reach through this freaking thing, and I'm going to grab my fingers around your neck, and I'm going to ring it, and I'm going to ring it, and I'm going to ring it because we made a very bad choice. I can see it's coming to fruition. I can see it now. It's coming for us. It's coming. It's coming. We can't do this, Griffey.
Whoa, easy there. Easy.
Smitty, take a drink.
He's
Take a
imploding.
drink.
He's imploding.
I got a question for you. Would you check the line now on the over and under on Cooper DeJean's interceptions for next year? And please bet the over for me. I want $400 on the over of Cooper DeJean's 3 interceptions for next year. And did you get the money down for Packers in the Super Bowl for me? Did we get that at 2,500 plus 2,500?
Griffey, I'm
Uh-oh.
trying.
He's thinking. He's thinking. He didn't get it in.
Deep breath, Schmitty. Take a deep breath.
I made him process 2 things at the same time.
I think we
Okay,
overwhelmed the poor lad.
Smitty, Graham Barton is still there.
He's
Graham
still there.
Barton.
That would be a great pick.
That
would be
make
a
you
great
feel
pick.
better? We got
That
it.
make me feel better. I would get our Super Bowl
got
tickets
it.
in now.
Ixnay on the DeJean, on the Cooper
Uber
DeJean,
K.
Uber J, DeJean Day,
Okay.
Top Day, and Graham Barton. Keep the Graham Barton going. Because we got to keep Schmitty of a sound state of mind here. We
Don't cover your AirPods like that. It echoed at me.
All right, I'll be right back.
Hey,
I'm gonna
Schmitty.
go get a beer, and I'm gonna go make a tinfoil hat because I gotta deflect some stuff.
All
I gotta
right.
get the tinfoil.
Tyler Guyton is still there too, buddy. So don't give up the ship. How about your tackle from Illinois? What's his name?
Griffey, Jerzon Newton.
There you
yes,
go.
would be a stud.
That would make you happy, wouldn't it?
There is a 9% chance we end up with Cooper, and there is 100% chance that if we do that 9% play, I'm gonna start breaking things. Things are gonna get broke.
No.
Yep. I'm gonna start. We're gonna play. You guys are gonna say a letter in the alphabet. I'm gonna find something that starts with that letter, and I'm gonna break it on camera. That's the game we're gonna play until the first round ends.
Get the sharp objects locked up. Get the toaster put away. Get the rubber room padded.
Who are there Utah State guys available?
Yeah, Jordan Love's brother.
We need some Aggies.
All right, where are we at, Griffey? The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, Jaguars pick is in. So if you're grabbing a drink, you might want to do it now.
I'll wait right until after the pick. Yeah, I'm gonna wait.
I can't believe that Graham Barton is gonna make it to Graham Barton. Excuse me. He sounds like a stud guard, maybe tackle, swing guy, positional versatility, the kind that Goody would have a hard time passing up.
Who's that?
Graham Barton.
Yeah. All right.
Jacksonville Jaguars select Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver, LSU.
Yeah.
Second LSU receiver to go tonight. He led the nation in touchdown catches with 17, and the Jaguars had some issues at wide receiver, and the Calvin Ridley.
Wow.
Smitty's gone. He's gone to get some objects to throw. Hopefully get some Nerf objects.
Well, we know for sure, Dad, we're either going to have Terry and Arnold or Cooper DeJean available. So if we want to go that position.
Or Nate Wiggins.
Yeah, if they like him better,
or
sure.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I just don't get the angst about Cooper. I think he's got the versatility. We got to talk about this before Schmitty gets back because we're sending him over the edge.
Yeah.
I really see the possibility to trade back though too.
Yeah.
I
want to know what you like about Nate Wiggins.
Well, he runs a 4.28 40, and he's apparently got classic outside corner skills. Kind of guy that Schmidt's talking about. That's going to be a starter in the NFL at the boundary corner. And so he fits that mold of a guy who has a thing that he does. The question is, is they say that in Schmidt's defense, they say Cooper DeJean is not great in man-to-man coverage. And you might ask the question, is Cooper DeJean another Josh
Jackson.
Josh Jackson, who highly touted, had the 8 interceptions and just could not play man-to-man defense in the NFL. So it was, that would be Schmidt's concern. There. Schmidt, who do you want? We're going to have Griff lay it out for him.
Deed says Nate Wiggins is another guy who misses tackles. Well,
I don't want Nate Wiggins over Cooper. Right. I'm just telling you.
You want Kool-Aid McKinstry? Where does he fall in your hierarchy?
Like at 41.
Okay.
Hey, you got to, the Pete Doherty said we're getting the other Cooper, Edgerrin Cooper, the inside linebacker that can rush the passer and is an attacking kind of a guy next to Quay Walker. Is that a possibility for you, Schmitty? Would that cool your jets at all?
I am now at a Graham Barton, a Terrion Arnold, or a Jerzon Newton, maybe outside chance Tyler Guyton, or preferably if like trade out. We got to trade out. Because then at least because Goody is going to hop on the 1s and 2s, right? He'll do the presser tonight after the first round, and he'll give us some decent explanation. He some guys went that he was hoping to get, and now we're second, third round cats, and we've done very well in that lane. So if that's what ends up happening, great. I just don't want to see some wide receiver or something that we're deep in. We don't want to see Cooper.
Is there some team that's going to come in and give us an offer we can't refuse for Terrion Arnold? I mean, I got to think there's some teams that did not expect him to be around.
How about the Jets coming in for Graham Barton? For what would it take? They don't have a second round this year. We got their second round. Will they have to give us a second rounder next year?
Hey, I'm open to possibilities that way.
But I mean, that's the only other kind of thing, because the draft board's pretty deep, so maybe other people feel like we do. It's, just take the best player available. But the Jets, in need of offensive line help, would potentially be one that would really covet a guy like Graham Barton.
Yeah. We got Schmidt here. Hopefully he gets.
Well, I think he's gone on a blackout.
Can we send him over the edge?
I thought we cut back on the Cooper DeJean talk pretty good. I'd still be very happy to get Cooper there at that spot for safety. This is safety / he's a slash safety.
Yeah.
He can do it all, a little bit of everything. And, it's not to be undervalued to have another kick returner, because you don't want Jaden Reed out there returning kicks all the time.
No, we're fortunate to have Keyshawn, but I think it does mean Keyshawn Nixon is gone a year from now. I think there's a lot of overlay with what they do.
Well, what is he, Keyshawn? 28, 29?
Is he that old, huh?
27, 28, something like that. So DBs get up there like that, and
26.
Yes. I like Keyshawn. I don't think he's gone.
No, he's been awesome. It was fun to see him come along here. He made a heck of a play against the Chiefs when we needed it too on that slot fade. One of my favorite plays. I think he's got a little room to grow as a corner, but
Jeff Hafley will get him all squared away.
Yeah,
I believe so.
Turn a new page for him.
Now, how about the receiver? Is that speed burner still there on the board?
Yeah, he's going to be, would be at 41 if he was there. I'd be interested in him, not at this spot.
Right. What's his name?
Xavier Worthy. He's the second. Oh, the Lions trading up here.
Who are they going?
Detroit traded into Dallas's pick. We'll have to see who they're taking.
Don't tell me they're taking Cooper DeJean.
Oh, that would be kind of painful, wouldn't it?
Who's there that they're gonna want a big? They might get that Illinois lineman or Graham Barton, or that'd be their kind of deal.
Running back. I think they need another.
Another
first round. Hey, the guy they got last year, we laughed at that pick pretty well, but he looks like a decent player. I still don't think first round grade on a running back. I don't know.
What is Schmitty? Are you in the dark? Oh, come out of the closet, Schmitty. No, you're in the dark over there. We can hear you. We got that going for us.
Oh, maybe I got to refresh his deal here. He came on a new link. Let me get him back in here.
Thank goodness. So did Detroit move up? I don't see it on my screen. I still see Dallas.
Yep. They haven't showed us who they're taking quite yet. Schmidt, did you switch systems there?
Yeah, we had to go to the phone died.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ran out of juice. Yeah, this does kind of take a lot of juice after over an hour. No, you're coming in good. All right, let's see who the Lions are.
I brought a beer with that's not cracked.
Their outstanding offensive lineman, Amon-Ra St. Brown, the wide receiver, and it is expected that the Jared Goff deal will get done in the coming days. I mean, this city's fired up for the Lions. It's been a long wait.
Detroit's
a lot of futility. Won
here.
Their first playoff game since the early 90s.
I feel like they've become almost America's team. I feel like a lot of people, even if you're not a Lions fan, they've fallen in love with Dan Campbell. He can't stop smiling, by the way. They've just fallen in love with the personality of the team. They're young. They got great energy. They're a fun watch.
To disagree with Herbie there, I really started to hate the Lions after they took over Lambeau Field last year, and they were chanting and celebrating after they took us down at home. That really, I always kind of felt like they were the lovable losers, and pretty quick I started to have a bit of a bone to pick with them.
We took care of business on Thanksgiving. Don't you worry about it. Everything's
that was a fun one.
Yeah. Griffey, we're probably favorites in that NFC Championship game headed to Detroit.
We are. Schmitty, we get it done too. And I think we get it done against Kansas City. We already saw what it looked like against Detroit and Kansas City back to back. We know how it went. We know how it would have gone again.
Are the Lions picking your corner here, Schmitty? Are they getting the big offensive lineman? What are they?
Well, if they do, the car is already started. It's parked in the garage, and that's where I'm gonna sleep tonight.
Okay.
They gave up what did it say they gave up to move up?
I haven't seen the.
They had it right on the screen here. I thought it was a 7th rounder and a 4th rounder. I couldn't see it. Because they're at what, 30 or 29 to move up to 24?
Yeah, 29 to 24. That's correct.
Acquired. What are they taking so long to pick?
I don't know. They're really drawing this out. They got to get Eminem back on stage, or I don't know what they got going on here.
Kidding. Yeah. Excuse me, Detroit. Who you guys?
Right.
I want to hear who you think they're getting,
Football
Schmitty.
community and growing football participation at the youth and high school levels. Joining me on stage are girls flag football players representing the first 4 schools that competed in the Michigan Girls Flag High School Football League and local high school football tackle students. These young men and women embody NFL values of respect, integrity, resiliency, and responsibility to their teams. Congratulations on your accomplishments in your academic and football careers. Now to make the selection, please welcome Ellie Fagley.
The Dallas Cowboys have traded the 24th pick to the Detroit Lions. With the 24th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Terrion Arnold, defensive end.
Oh, God! No!
I gotta tell you, Dad.
No!
I was kind of hoping they'd do it.
No!
I want the over on Cooper DeJean's interceptions next year.
It's gotta be Cooper DeJean, right?
How many touchdowns on pick sixes and punt returns? What's the over and under there, Griff? 2?
I just want him to be a nice 10-year starter.
1.5, and I'll bet the over on that.
All right. I'll let you have it.
This looks like the Twilight Zone over here on the right side of my screen.
Oh, man, Schmitty. I'm sorry about Terrion Arnold there for you, buddy.
We still got
He was
Kool-Aid.
supposed to be ours, Griffey.
He was valued at the big board at 11, huh?
Griffey, he's a stud. The kid played for Alabama, Griffey. Shockingly, a Toledo cornerback got taken over him. He was the best cornerback in the – we miss out on a sure thing. Like, it's so frustrating.
And we let the Lions trade up. Would you have done like the Vikings did with the Broncos trying to sneak in ahead of them for J.J. McCarthy and traded up there with Dallas?
Yeah, Griffey, if we felt so strongly about even Mitchell, like we could have taken one of those thirds and we could have got up even further. Like, get your guy. So I don't know. Hopefully none of these were their guys, and now we're gonna get the guy from Iowa, and it's all the Packer fans. Everyone's gonna be singing "Kumbaya" for the next 3 months until the guy has to go up against Rome Odunze. And he's getting burned left and right. So it's all good right now. Everyone get excited. Here he comes. So, what number? We should probably put him in what?
The Lions gave up 73 and swapped 24 and 29, and they get back a 7th round pick next year. So they didn't give up a ton.
Peanuts is what that's called in the industry, Griffey. Peanuts. They gave up peanuts to move up.
73, a 3rd round pick. That's about the right value there. Right. Dallas obviously wants bodies.
We're on the clock. Picks in already, Griffey. Well, he's already here.
Picks in for the Packers?
He's already here.
Hey, we knew who we were taking, Schmitty. We knew who we were taking.
Griffey, roll the whole thing. I want to see all the pageantry. Roll the whole thing.
They're talking to Terrion Arnold's parents, and I don't think you want to see that. It might be too much for you here.
Schmitty, I will say this, that the Packers, I think, were prepared to move up to get Cooper. I think they're going to be thrilled that they sat right where they were.
There's no way we draft him. There is 0% chance we draft him. Welcome, Graham Barton. Graham Barton.
All right, and
we wouldn't be too upset.
Schmitty.
It would be a little bit the air coming out of the wind coming out of the sails to hear Graham Barton, don't you think?
But
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
We trust Goody, Griff. In Goody, we trust as long as he's moving up 10 spots to get to Darnell Savage, for crying out loud.
I was going to reference old Darnell.
Oofda.
Hey, this was my take. I riled my dad up, but we pushed Schmitty's buttons enough. Let's push one of my dad's. I think Darnell Savage could have had a heck of a year in a Jeff Hafley defense.
We we did not play in the NFC Championship solely and entirely with the exception of the kicker because of our safety who couldn't tackle in the hole with a guy who had 3 feet to go either way and then let the tight end get behind him for 2 touchdowns in the second half. So we can put that one to rest. Darnell's where he belongs. Where is he? Over there on the East Coast with Carolina or wherever they have.
I think
Thank you,
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Okay. Good riddance. Thank
You
you for
wanted the
your
180-pound corner, Schmitty?
Graffiti.
Yeah.
These guys 180. They step on the field at 200. I don't want to even stop it. Give me the live feed. I want to see all the pain. I want to see our friend. I want to see the commissioner walk out. Here he comes.
He stayed there. He never once talked about getting in the portal, and he just worked his tail off. And I work with him all the time because I kind of coach the corners. That's what I
Here he comes, the executioner, to read out his sentence. Cooper DeJean.
Are you really going to be that upset if that's the way we go? You can't be excited about Cooper. You can't turn the page here yet.
Now you bring in Terrion Arnold in that same secondary. How do you envision? You saw him play inside and outside. Branch he can play anywhere.
You got to be able to get excited.
Glenn trying to use those two guys and what they bring to the table there.
Well, I'd use Terrion outside.
Yeah.
Because Brian Branch is a natural star. That nickel position has changed through the years. In the old days, you put the guy in there on third down. All he had to do is cover a slot. He could be a midget. It didn't matter. Right. But now that's a Sam linebacker who has to be a defensive back.
Exactly.
Because he has to cover a slot guy.
We got a ways to go, I think, Schmitty.
Yeah, he was wearing a bad suit. I don't want him now. His suit was very ugly.
Didn't pass the fit check for you?
No, some puke pink with a bow tie. Dude, that's Easter was over, dude. Bad pick. Okay, I don't want him, Griffey. I'm back on.
What if he painted his fingernails, though?
He would have been an all-pro rookie year. Caleb Williams, I know you're going to diss on him. I can't wait week after week and just be like, Griffey, this is the guy. He literally is the guy. There's no question about it. He has.
I don't get the appeal. I haven't seen him do anything on film that I'm impressed by.
Okay. I can't wait. Bold predictions coming in August. Packers Corner, you are going to get a good spoonful. And we're going to address these.
Here we go.
The Green Bay Packers and hosts for the 2025 NFL Draft select Jordan Morgan, tackle, Arizona.
Oh, no. Oh,
Good technique there. You know the Packers aren't taking a wide receiver. They haven't done that since 2002. They're going to get a guy on the line. Here's another offensive tackle. This one coming from Arizona. This is a guy, again, playing football at the age of 11, third grade.
Good night,
Gave
guys.
up the sport, returned to it a little bit later on. He was born and raised in Tucson. Stayed home to go to Arizona. Some other Pac-12 schools made a push. By the way, this is like the 8th Pac-12 guy to get picked. You think about the demise of that conference, they're going out with a bang. Yeah. And Jordan Morgan has tattoos of horror movies like Pennywise and Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers. Field, he's a monster for defensive guys to try to handle.
No two ways about that one, Reese. I got to start with this. Last year, coming off of a torn ACL, I thought that Jordan Morgan did not look like a guy who was any worse for the wear. Now, there's been some speculation this could end up being a guard at the pro level because of just adequate length in terms of his arms. But I see a left tackle, I got to be honest with you, Reese, and the way that Arizona was able to get him out in space, of course, that very fun, fast-paced, spread-it-out offense under former head coach Jed Fish allowed him to play and excel in space. The Packers have been eyeing some left tackle help after David Bakhtiari was released earlier this offseason. I think Jordan Morgan has a chance to be a day-one starter, and of course, that young Packers offense gets another fixture to build around Jordan Love.
And in this draft field,
I mean, like you said, this is a guy that likely would have been there at 41, don't you think?
I don't know. I guess, it's we talked about it early. What's going to help you more? The Swiss Army knife on defense for Halfley to get a defense that is attacking and creating turnovers, or apparently they want with Josh Jacobs, and that probably tells you everything you want to know about what they think about the 7th round draft pick who filled in at left tackle last year, that he just wasn't a bona fide starter. So, yeah, I mean, it leaves me a little bit listless, but in the long run, we may say this is a good move if it allows them to move Zach Tom to center and they can have a dominating run game and let Jordan Love feast on play action passing. So not a sexy pick, but hopefully it's the right one. And, I tell you what, they may move up and get Cooper DeJean yet. They got all the ammunition they need. And then maybe that's a better spot, Schmitty, if they get him at the top of the 2nd round, or if he slides somewhere close to 41, they use the ammunition
Move
they
up
have.
and get Jordan Morgan at the top of the 2nd round if that's what
Yeah,
you want.
yeah. The other one they said was Kinsley Sui Mateo, who is similar to Morgan, but apparently they like him better. It's guys, it is a premium position, left tackle. And so Goody's saying that we're going to go get a premium position.
There's no doubt it's a premium position. That's a good point. Schmitty?
Yeah, it's a deep draft for offensive linemen. If they again, we put our trust in Goody. He hasn't steered us wrong most of the time, right? If he felt so strongly about a different offensive lineman to tackle, I think we had the capital to move up and get whomever we really wanted, maybe outside of like the top 8 picks. We weren't going to get Joe Alt or anything like that, but we had the ability to get anyone we really wanted. And so if he makes this move, like you need a left tackle fixture. You're about to spend a bunch of money on your quarterback. You need to protect his blind side. This makes sense. It's not the sexy pick that Packers Nation wanted. We wanted Cooper DeJean apparently, and we end up getting our left tackle of the future. It is, to Gar's point, very telling with Rasheed Walker, who I thought played really good football. Yeah. Now he's your swing tackle, right? So like we wanted to get a swing tackle in depth. Well, guess what? We get our 1st round draft pick. He's our left tackle. Rasheed swings in as our swing tackle. This all makes sense. No one in Packers Nation should be upset with what we just did.
Or Schmitty.
Yeah.
Or Rasheed Walker moves over to right tackle. Tom moves over to center, and you put your best 5 together, and you become a dominant run unit and a unit that can pass protect, and a versatile group of big guys that put you in the upper echelon of all the offensive lines in the NFL. So I guess that's the way Goody's looking at it. But certainly there's going to be a lot of competition in camp to see who those best 5 are. A weak link has been center. And so shores up a couple positions by getting this guy, if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah. Look, Goody will make some moves. We know he's going to make some moves. 2nd and 3rd, even 4th round, there's some bread and butter. Like we've done really well. We've been successful as a franchise in those rounds. Expect him to make some ups and downs on this draft board. Again, we have faith in him. He's going to bring us the guys that we need to be successful. We have a bunch of cornerstone pieces. We just need to fill in a couple of these gaps.
I'm going to make Schmitty happy, Griff. I'll make Schmitty happy right here. You're looking at probably the 3rd round of the Packers picking up a cornerback by the name of Max Melton, who runs a 4.3 40, who happens to be related to your boy Bo. And so look for that now as to fill out that corner room.
Where's he coming from? Where'd he play college ball?
Is he Boston College?
Okay.
Somewhere over. Where did Bo play?
Rutgers.
I don't know.
Rutgers. He might be Rutgers. Yeah, Bo is Rutgers. Yep.
Okay.
I think he's another Rutgers guy.
Okay.
Well, that would make Schmitty happy, I think, because he's a big Bo.
Yes.
He knows Mrs. Melton.
I love Bo. Give me 80 over 9 any day of the week. I can't wait. Again, August will come very quickly. Time for bold predictions. You'll see a good segment of Griffey and I going back and forth, and I'm going to be in 80s corner, Griffey in 9s corner, and we're going to have a ball.
Yeah, that'll be fun. What do you think about trading back in to go after Graham Barton?
Yeah,
Really shore
that
up
came to my
the-
mind, Griffey. I'd appreciate that.
He's gone. Never mind. Tampa Bay.
You know, that's a really interesting discussion, guys, that the Packers had him valued higher than Graham Barton and Tyler Guyton. And that was not the conventional wisdom on this guy. I saw this guy all the way in the midway through the second round.
And there's so many opinions on that, right? Like, as we
Yeah,
talked about,
yeah.
it's interesting, but it's definitely the comparison. That and Cooper DeJean. Those are the comparisons we're going to draw for a long time, see if it was the right pick.
Absolutely.
Well, you guys got anything else for the evening, or wrap
Boy,
it up here?
I'm a little, the wind is a little out of my sails, but you know, it's interesting. We've had this
We're
feeling
not
before.
angry.
No,
I thought we were either going to be angry or
you know, it's
ecstatic.
a committee pick. It's the old switcheroony. It's the old zig when you're going to zag move, Schmitty. Right up your alley. It's a little bit like Greg Jennings. We said who? Jordy Nelson, who? Yeah, I remember we traded back for the safety who played for us so beautifully before he hurt his neck.
Collins?
Played in the Super Bowl, Nick Collins, and we said who? Bethune-Cookman, Nick Collins, what? Remember?
Yeah.
So it's not how you feel on draft night. It's proof's going to be in the pudding when we put the pads on and see where it is. So maybe we'll look back and say this was another one of those picks that was a little bit of a curveball, but a good pick. Hopefully that's how we'll feel. They sure didn't reach for it, Schmitty.
Yeah, no, you know what, guys? Like we got a position of need, no question about it. No one should be upset with what we did here. Again, we didn't get the guy that was the hot ticket item, but we got something that's very meaningful to what we're trying to accomplish. We gave our investment in Jordan Love a little bit of padding with this pick, and so it took some wind out of our sails, but we can't be disappointed by any means.
Well, fun to do it with you guys here. It's fun in looking forwards in anticipation here. Guess I'm ready for the next pick already, but we'll have to wait a little bit. Thanks for jumping on here, guys, and we'll stay in contact throughout this whole process, I'm sure.
Just one last marker to put out there is, and this might be one Schmitty will follow. Will we rue letting Detroit move ahead of us?
That's the other one.
Schmitty feels is a stud corner. And they duped us on Brian Branch last year, too, who we were touted to pick. So that'll be an interesting one to follow as far as the future goes. So keep our eyes open on that one.
Yep. Take care, guys.
Thank you, boys.